It is launched this time.
It is time. It is time. It is now. It is live. It is the Nudelberg Daily Huddle, and it is also Tuesday.
Right? And it's actually a reasonable time. At this time yesterday, I was like running downhill. I had already done a presentation. I did the huddle, was doing the huddle, and then I did another presentation. So yesterday I counted for like an 18-hour day. It was crazy. Crazy.
You crushed it. You did a great job. Talk about the presentation yesterday.
Yeah, so it's nice because I dealt with two different audiences. I dealt with a European and Asian audience, and then I dealt with South America and America's audience. And when the leader who put the whole event together comes back to you and says, you overexceeded, everybody's texting me and writing me, they're real corporate, so there's surveys and things like that. So they were really, really overwhelmed. I got so many people who came into LinkedIn, connecting. Can we get a virtual coffee? Virtual coffee, brilliant. So it's nice when somebody, really receives what you have to offer. I had to pack in my presentation in 50 minutes, which it was like go time. So
did you do the full LinkedIn like a pro, all of the rules of engagement, or was it a modified version?
So I got through all 6 rules.
Got it.
But there was really not a lot of time for elaboration. I kind of hit it.
Sure.
Some of these people had seen me speak at D-Scoop, which was the virtual global event, and they tuned in again. Some people watched it twice yesterday. So, it's nice because there's always the hint of new work, and like just, the global audience, video doesn't exist. They don't know what they're, so lots of opportunities. Shay, did you show the picture? Did I miss that?
He did. He popped it up there.
Good.
I'll pop it up again.
Okay. So that was me top right at 3:13 in the morning, getting ready, man. So it was, they appreciated, and one of her notes to me was, we appreciate you getting up in the middle of the night to present us. And there were 2 presenters from LinkedIn who commented afterwards that said, wow, your commitment to the work, regardless of the time zone, is impressive. So, kudos.
I wonder if they were impressed with some of the rules of engagement. I wonder if they were impressed with the way, we choose to go to market, with what the strategy is for LinkedIn, as opposed to, I think, some of the sales navigator, LinkedIn trainers.
So they were pumping Sales Navigator. They were pumping publishing. They're very corporate. They teach it like they're the corporation. I started out my presentation by saying, so that I do this first. I'm teaching you what I do.
Right.
And they were like, you could tell people were dialed in, because I said, everything that I'm going to teach you, I currently do. It's tested. I have lots of case studies. So it's goof proof if you do it, which, there's a resurgence of people talking to me about getting better at LinkedIn. Tomorrow, I'll be talking to Styles. They have one division of their many that I'm speaking to. There'll be about 80 people in the room, and they just want to get better, digitally better.
I think part of that is the fact that when it was hot, when we were doing LinkedIn like a pros a couple times a month, I think everybody was like, oh, well, this is the only way we can do business right now. And then we'll eventually go back to doing it a different way. But I think the new normal, or whatever, which I hate saying, but I think the current landscape and what people are seeing moving forward is that it's a hybrid, but that the efficiency and effectiveness of networking and building relationships through LinkedIn is so much better than before, that they're like, oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to leverage this for the long haul, not for this quick little fix during the pandemic.
Here's an interesting tidbit for the huddlers to hear. So, in every preparation, I always spice it up. I mean, every presentation, I spice it up. I prepare differently, throw in a couple of new slides. For HP, they grew up in a trade show mentality. Guys, women,
right?
Trade shows. So I did the old school stuff. And then I said, new school. And the first thing I showed was the new school trade show is LinkedIn.
Right.
It's 24 hours a day, no geographical boundaries.
Yeah.
And so I hit them with this, and they all reacted to this. Good morning, Lori Newman. We have a new guest in the huddle.
Good morning, Lori.
Good morning. Closet Factory, for those of you who are looking to clean it up, Closet Factory is the place to go. But when in any other conversation would you talk about going back? Business has never been about going back. So I said that to all of you who are holding your breath and saying, can't wait till we get back or go back. It's done. We've moved forward. We moved beyond. And all of the McKinsey stuff that you and I are reading, which is particularly on point, is about, you better learn this stuff because it ain't going away.
That's exactly right. Kai, can you say good morning to everybody? Because everybody is telling you good morning. Can you say hi and good morning?
Hi, good morning.
And can you say it's time to wake up? Give us the music.
Let's go.
Time to wake up, give us the music.
Wake
Let's
up.
go, Shay.
Wake up, everybody! Get up! Get up! Get up! Get up! Wake up! Come on! Come on! Wake up, everybody! Teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen what you have to say. Wake up, everybody! No more sleeping in bed. No more about to thinking, time for thinking ahead. Come on now.
So a couple other people I got to shout out. Ed Dykes, nice to see you back here. I don't know where you've been. You got 2 demerits for not being
I think he was here yesterday. I just don't think so.
Dykes. Matt Huff, we're on the calendar. We're on the clock. I am heading to New York with Jake to see Matt Huff and his team at Fidelis. We're going to spend a day in the zone, baby.
Honestly, I'm jealous. I'm a little jealous, like not even in the fact that you guys are just going on a trip, that you guys are going to see Matt and going to see the Fidelis team, who I love everybody that I've met from that organization. So I got a little jealousy going on there.
They are poised for great success this year. And we're going to do a little bit of celebrating, a little bit of planning. And Matt's onboarded a whole bunch of new people. Anybody that wants to work in that space, Matt's your dude. So I can't wait to see you, brother. Excited.
I love it. So, as we always do on the Huddle, we like to start the show with whatever the national day is, birthdays, things that have happened on this day. But it happens where you look at a day and there was absolutely squadoosh.
I did the same thing. There's nothing tomorrow.
There's nothing happening.
Some of it is so bad. It's like, really? National Brillo Pad Day.
Right. And I look at it, I'm like, they have a national day for everything. And some is just really just not worth talking about. But what is great about those days is that we're always stockpiling content. I'm always pulling from James Clear and I'm always pulling from Seth Godin. And we were able to put together some quotes that I think are going to start a great conversation for us, that I think really carry over from the conversation about what to do in the summer and what's happening in the summer. Because you hit on some great stuff yesterday, and then James Clear has some great quotes, one of which, patience is a competitive advantage. In a surprising number of fields, you can find success if you are simply willing to do the reasonable thing longer than most people. And I think that has been something that's happened in sales, not necessarily with top performers, but people that have longevity, is they're just willing to do the work longer than everybody else so they survive. But the people who really excel in it for their entire careers don't just do the work. They do it in a way that is so relationship driven and so customer focused that it gives them unbelievable success.
So I think, if you use specifics, well, first of all, I think I've been doing this like 42 years,
right.
So you just got to outlast it, man. The same bullshit feelings that I had when I first started, I still get.
Right.
I lost the deal yesterday. I didn't really lose it. They decided not to move forward. Okay. It still feels like shit. I don't care who you are. I mean, it's just,
it's disappointing.
I don't ever want to be okay with that feeling. So I just know now the wisdom is that closed, another one's coming in that I didn't expect. That's fine. But the patience thing in particular, I found to be really true with LinkedIn. A lot of people I know jumped in and were swimming with both arms, just plowing through the water. And then after a while, they got slower and slower and slower until they disappeared. LinkedIn is a long-term game. You got to be there. You got to stay there.
It's a lifestyle. Like that's the way that I really look at it is, and it's the same thing. Like people will post a piece of content and they're like, oh my God, it got 10,000 views and it got this and that. And I'm like, dude, you're looking at the wrong metric. Yeah. Like how many conversations have you pulled out of it? Because those metrics are going to go up and down. That's just the ebb and flow of what's happening with your content. What's the work that you're putting in to pull out the conversations and do it? And that's the patience part. That's the consistent effort day in and day out to doing the things that, create the success.
And, whenever I deliver the material again, I'm so hyper focused because I deliver it and I'm hearing myself say it with no expectation that there's a sale anywhere in sight.
Correct.
It's a real difficult mindset. After a while, it's like, do I really want to have coffee with this person?
Correct.
Being honest, you look yourself.
I love it. I love that you're saying that.
But you know what? I showed everybody yesterday that every single box that you post is a trade show, or every single box, like I follow Richard Branson. There's 700 people that are liking his stuff. You got to turn down. There's some feedback there. So 700 people when he's when that like him, they're all networking with me. I can reach out to all 700 and say, hey, we share something in common. We like that, that post. And so you got to have patience to sift through the information. And, a lot of the companies I'm working with now on prospecting is a lonely, long-term road, man. I saw it was the anniversary of Sam Cooke's Working on the Chain Gang.
Yep.
That's what prospecting is. It's just bang, 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 and there's no other way, man. This is what it is. But if you do it and you just get into the love of doing it, the riches are there. It's incredible.
And I had this conversation with Jake yesterday, it's awesome to have conversations with him, especially now that we've got a defined routine on where he's spending time with you, where he's spending time with me. And part of the conversation was, number one, every conversation is a good conversation. Doesn't really matter if you're spending 15 minutes, you're getting better at the art and the skill of having conversations. And what he was able to take away from you about how you're able to interject what we do and how we do it by updating people about what we're doing and making it conversational. You never transition to a pitch. You're educating people about what you do and how you do it. That's a skill. And the more conversations he has, the better he's going to get at doing that. And I think that's a miss for most people is they're not taking every conversation, which doesn't give them the at-bats to get better. And it doesn't give them the patience and the longevity to build the success.
First of all, that's really well said because, the more you're in the car with somebody, the more you learn how to drive.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you run into more circumstances where you don't have to have the wheel. You just can sort of watch and see what's going on. But specifically, when we've talked about this in past huddles, storytelling, when someone tells me something in conversation, I go, oh, that reminds me, I have a client that we work with and so happened to them. And, so relatable stories are part of my, mindset, what I'm thinking about all the time. But to your point, baseball players don't get up one time and hit home run and then they're done. They're hitting all the time. Think about the number of at-bats they've had in their career. Basketball players with shots, Kobe was famous for getting in the gym at 4 a.m. and just knocking out free throws. To me, it's a total embarrassment that, you have a guy like Ben Simmons or a guy like, what's his name from Milwaukee, can't hit a foul shot. They're a liability at the end of the game. It's crazy. It's all practice. It's at-bats.
Right. 1,000%. And so another quote that we have from James is that there's never going to be a perfect time to do something that stretches you, right? It doesn't matter what that thing is. Anything that pushes you out of your comfort zone and even like me, who's a stickler for preparation, want to be prepared for whatever's coming or whatever's going to happen. There's still never going to be a perfect time to do it. It's always a chance. There's always a risk of failure, not working, or there being adversity. But with the mindset of accepting that and understanding that, then you can at least say, okay, is this at least an optimal decision? Am I doing the right thing by doing this? Am I pushing myself to another area?
So it's interesting because I found that quote as well, and I'm using it in my presentation today.
Right.
I didn't. I'll use it again tomorrow because, unless you decide you want to stretch, there's no point in even trying. You've already given up. And I think part of the challenge that this mature salespeople have is just stuck in what they've always done. They don't see what the other side is. And I just got done working with Bank United in Miami. Those are seasoned sales professionals. They're not broken, but they're not hitting the potential they can hit.
Right.
The gap between where they are and where they could be is really wasted talent.
And really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
How to reach that next, the amount of uncomfort that is there is the thing that keeps people from doing it and pushing themselves to that level, because like that's the best part of summer, is that if you have time, then there's actually no better time to try something new.
Yeah.
Because that time is the most valuable asset that you have. And why wouldn't you trade that for something that would push you out of your comfort zone that has the opportunity to make you better? It's going to be hard, sure. Is there going to be adversity? Sure. Are you going to have to really stay consistent? Sure. But it's going to get you better.
So I have a client, he watches this all the time, so he'll know who he is. And I'm going to just share the story. They're very, very close to a monster goal. So let's call it the marathon, and they're at 23 miles. And they're basically going, I don't have it. I can't do it. My feet are bleeding. I can't breathe. Blah, 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 blah. I'm done. And I go, the pain that you will experience if you don't finish for the rest of your life is going to be much worse than that pain. It's limited pain. That pain will end. That 3 miles, if you get through the 3 miles, as bad as it is, slicing your skin doesn't matter. That pain will be pale compared to what it'll be if you don't do it. And I think for the salespeople I work with, it's so amazing because what's on the other side of this is so much better than it ever been. The reason why they call it social is that it's fun. Yep. Mary Beth, thank you so much. It has been a treat to work with you, but candidly, you're ready. You want to climb the mountain. I'm just there to help you and point out from experience what I know is on the next ledge. So, when you get people who want to do it, and so, bringing it back to summer, things are getting in a place where the world's your oyster. I just dug deep into a new article from Inc. magazine called "The Audacity of No." It's that people got comfortable saying no because they couldn't say yes. Now all of a sudden you got, am I going to the concert? Am I going to the game? Am I going here? Are we going out to dinner? I saved money, but now it's time to spend money and do it, whatever. And, all the guilt and all the bullshit that you deal with now, no has never been more prevalent. I sent the article to Kathleen. I sent it to Lori Salarillo. But if you're in this and you want that article, that is the test that you can choose whatever you want to do this summer. You can choose. If you say to yourself, listen, I want to get great at something, you can use the summer to do that. And you're going to hit the field in the fall being like, I'm ready, man, because I've upskilled. So it's really cool.
It's perfect. And I think, I'm ready to transition to the next topic because I think it's just a good way to go. And I want to get to the morning motivation music. So give us the morning motivation music, and then we'll hit a quick topic to end
1
it.
second.
Yeah.
Donna, it's not Monday morning. Hello.
You keep living life and enjoying yourself. Show us the music, please.
Woo.
I got the magic in me. Every time I touch that track, it turns into gold. Everybody knows I got me. Now everybody wants a blast of magic, 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 oh. I got the magic in me.
Said I let tempo blow your mind. Pick a verse, any verse, I hypnotize you with every line. I'll need a volunteer. How about you with the eyes? Come on down to the front, stand right here and don't be shy. I have you time traveling, have your mind babbling. People trying to inherit the skills, so they asking me. Even David Blaine had to go and take some classes in. I see mind freak like, what's up, man? What's happening? So come on, come on, and see the show tonight. Prepare to be astounded, no ghost or poltergeist. You know I'm no Pinocchio, I never told a lie. So call me Mr. Magic Man, I float on cloud nine.
I got the magic in me.
So I can candidly and honestly tell you, I've never heard that song before in my life.
Great song. I love that song. I've got the magic in me. And where this comes from and where we're going is that Seth Godin wrote a great, newsletter. He says, disenchantment. It originally means no longer believing in magic. Humans like magic. It gives us solace and energy and hope. In many ways, the rational era of science and engineering and evidence and proof eliminated any practical belief in magical forces. We know how and why the sun sets every night, but we still desire magic. Creating it for your customers and peers is a gift. And I think that is something that doesn't get talked about in the sales process, is that you have the ability to create the magic for your customer, whether they're a prospective customer or a current customer. And it's your responsibility to do that. And customers are what make the difference in a successful business and a non-successful business. And that is under your control.
It's interesting. When I first started to hit the road, one of my slides that I would talk about is I said, hey, I would take out a magic wand and I go, I got a magic wand and I'm going to wave it at all of you. And I'm going to give you an extra 7 hours a week. What would you do with it? People would go, oh, I'd spend time with my family. I'd read a book. I would do this. I would do that. And I go, well, guess what? If you wake up an hour earlier every day, you added 7 hours. There's the magic. Magic, there's always something behind the magic. There's some trick. There's some, something, Houdini. I did a whole thing on Houdini once before. It's not, there's still no substitute for the work, no matter what.
1,000%. And when I talk about creating magic for people within the sales process, that goes directly to knowing them, understanding them, being able to deliver and be accountable to them, and being social with them. When you make the buying experience fun and enjoyable, that's magical for people, because so few people are actually doing that. So I think, we're up on time, but that's the point I want to make, is that you have that magic.
A real-time story that happened this morning. Everybody knows Abe and Louise is my favorite steakhouse. I absolutely adore it there. I sent a note to Lou, and by the way, he says good morning to you and Jake. I guess can't wait to see you guys, but I'm going there Saturday night, and I sent him a note jokingly. I said, hey, my hookup is no longer there. Joni is now at Styles. So he sends me back. He goes, can I call you? I said, sure, it's early. He calls me and he goes, first of all, your hookup that worked for me is gone. I'm always your hookup.
Yeah.
And then I told him what was going on Saturday night. And he goes, with you, he goes, I'd do anything to make you happy. And I was like, he made it a magical experience, making a reservation at a steakhouse. Yep. It's happens to be a special night for me. I'm really looking forward to the celebration, but you cannot underestimate the power of creating a magical experience for somebody. It really is, and so I think you hit on some really cool stuff today on a day when you said there was no content.
There was no content to be had. So have a fantastic Tuesday. Go make it magical for people in your family, for your peers, for your coworkers, for your customers, and go. What do you got, Dad?
Tomorrow we'll be live from the new building, the main, which is on Las Olas at Styles' new building, and Devin Newton will be joining us to share her experience about what it's like to get on the ball. So really exciting stuff tomorrow. Got other content, good stuff, but we'll be live with her. So it should be a fun show tomorrow.
Go make magic, and let's get down to business.
Please don't worry about me. I'm about to let my heart speak. My friends keep telling me to leave this. So let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million